So in this video I'm going to go over how to make a portable air conditioner for track cars. I've got a pretty long distance drive coming up in my car probably, so I'm going to have a go at making this air conditioner and see if it works. The things you need are the cigarette lighter plug it in, a switch, turn on and off, a potentiometer. This is to turn the fan like up and down, so it's not needed, but it's probably nice to have, and one or two computer fans. Generally the bigger the better. These are like big servo fans, they've got a fair bit of power behind them, and obviously big styrofoam esky. Also need something that's waterproof. You can cut, so I'm using some sheets of aluminium, but some sheets of plastic or foam should be fine as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is work out where the fans are going to go. You generally want the fans in the lid, so the water, like if you put them inside, you're going to get water and stuff on them. So in the lid and to one end as far as possible. My fans are probably a bit too wide to fit in nicely, but I'm sure I'll be able to work it out. For styrofoam, you generally need a really sharp blade, or it just pulls it apart. And if you can't get a sharp blade, if you heat up a blunt one, it'll cut through it nicely as well. So I've cut the holes and the fan's ready to get glued on. The lid in the centre is raised up and it's lower around the edge here, so I'm going to use this piece of wood to glue along there and along the back, which will mean the fan has a flat surface to sit on, and it's also going to make the lid a bit more rigid. This will depend on the shape of the esky and stuff that you buy, so you can work that out for yourself, I'm sure. I'm using hot glue for most of this because one, hot glue gun's easy, but as far as sticking to foam, nothing really beats a hot glue gun because the heat of it actually melts the glue into the foam. So this is definitely the best tool for the job. So I would have liked to put an extra piece across here, but I don't have enough timber, so I'll fill them with some foam after I put the fans on. Before we put the fans on, I need to double check that they're blowing air the right direction. So I want the fan set up so it's blowing air into the box. So in my position, I had to take the covers off and then put the shield on the other side. Depending on where they came from, they'll be set up to go one way or the other, but make sure you check first. If you reverse the power to the fan, it'll go the other way, but if you look at the blades, you'll notice they're all curved in one direction, so you need to make sure the fan is up the right way and not just rely on switching the power to make the fan go the right way after you glue it on. Now I've finished gluing the rest of the fans. I'm just going to glue in this last piece of foam to cover up the gap at the back. After the fans are all glued down and done, we need to decide what we're going to put here for an outlet. So I'm going to use these two pieces of aluminium tube because you can bend them and they'll stay bent, but you can use a piece of PVC pipe or whatever ducting you choose to put on it. So I'll just put these where I want them and then mark circles around to cut. Flip the lid over and glue an aluminium square here to sort of force the air out of the fans and then into the ice, into the tubes, rather than the air coming straight out of the fans, just going straight into the tubes. I'm going to notch around this centre rib part just so I'm not taking any rigidity out of the lid. Because this aluminium is pretty smooth and slippery, the hot glue gun doesn't really stick to it. So what I'll do is punch a couple of holes in here and then glue through the holes to the foam, and the glue will sort of work like a rivet, like a little head on the glue that holds it down more than the stickiness of the glue itself. But I'll also rough this up with some sandpaper, try and get the glue to stick to it a bit more. After gluing it down, there's much glue underneath it, I'll go around and squirt glue into all these holes. Once this is glued in, make sure that it fits in the box. Once it all fits together, we can start on the electronics. So as far as the wiring for this, it's pretty simple. These computer fans have always got 4 or 5 wires coming out of them, but generally there's one black one and one red one. The black and red one is positive and negative, and any other coloured ones, they normally attach to things like RPM sensors and temperature sensors, so you can just cut those back as you don't need them. For this, what we're going to do is the two fans, put the black wire and the red wire together, and then we'll solder those two together first. So it's only the negative side that I'm soldering to the switch. So what we're going to do now is get our cable that we're going to use to actually attach the air conditioner to the cigarette lighter. I'm using a cable off like another electronics product that I've cut off because it's the two different cables joined together. So one cable I'll solder to the red wire and the other cable I'll solder to the other end of the switch. Now, on this particular cable, this one's got a stripe on it, this one's not. So I'm going to use the stripe as a negative line and make the stripe the negative and the unstriped positive. Once I've put some insulation on the wires, stop them shorting out, I'll glue the switch down. Now I just made up this quick little cover just to go over the top of all the wires. Now I'm going to get our cigarette lighter adapter and take it apart so we can get to the contacts. Once that's apart, you can see that this one on this side is connected to the outside pieces and this one goes to the middle. The outside pieces are the ground and the center is the middle. And that's it, we're done. So next time you're going on a car trip in somewhere in a stupid car that had air conditioning, you just fill the box with ice. Hopefully it'll last a couple of hours depending on how much you're running the fans and how hot it is in the car. But every time you stop to buy a drink or take a piss or whatever, you can fill it up with ice again. And hopefully you'll have a pleasant journey. Goodbye.